In this video, we're working on our wormhole art project inspired by optical illusion art. We're using a pencil and a circle stencil. My circle stencil is a washer that I got from the Home Depot, and I'm moving it and tracing it with my pencil lightly so that I can create this wormhole effect where it kind of looks like the shape is curving around, so it looks really round, and I'm going to trace it so that it goes all the way off the page. Try different size stencils. You can use different size circle stencils to create different size wormholes, and that's going to help when you're overlapping, and it's going to make it have a little bit more depth and space because things that are further away can get smaller as they go into the distance. And I like to take my wormholes off the page. So I want to make sure that my composition is interesting. So I want to work in the corners, in the middle, and make my composition flow so that it has overlapping shapes. So to do the overlapping, I just draw where I haven't drawn yet. The pencil that I'm using is a sketching pencil. It's a 2H pencil, but any pencil will do. You just don't want to press too hard, so that way, in case you make a mistake and you need to erase, I like to use a 2H pencil and press very light while I'm drawing. You can also use the inside of the washer as a stencil so you can get some different size holes and trace them the same way with overlapping, going behind what you've already drawn by just skipping over it and then keep drawing where you haven't drawn yet. So drawing from the inside of the washer is a way that you can make a smaller size stencil. I like to also rotate the paper while I'm drawing so that way it's more comfortable for me while I'm drawing. So I'm sorry, part of this you can't really see too well. It's going off the screen. So keep experimenting with starting going off the page, coming back onto the page, and just be very careful with your tracing so that it's easy for you to erase. Once you feel like you have at least 2 or 3 different size wormholes, move on to Sharpie marker. When I'm using the Sharpie marker, I'm using the ultra fine point Sharpie marker. You can use a colored Sharpie if that's going to help you with your composition. I just chose to work with the black because it felt like the most classic choice, but you could use something else. So as I'm tracing, a tip that I have is not to try and trace everything with one line, but pick up the marker in between and place it back down. You might notice as you're drawing that you enjoy drawing some of the smaller shapes or some of the larger shapes more than others. You can kind of skip around, or you can work line by line. Do whatever feels comfortable for this part with the outlining. Sometimes it helps to flip your paper around, so that way you can get the area closer to you that you are tracing. If you mess up, just go over it a little bit more with the marker and smooth out anything. And just keep outlining. This whole video took me about 25 minutes, and it's been sped up to be about 7 minutes. So if you work without distractions, you can get this done in one class period. We're almost done with outlining. After we finish outlining this section, we have to go on to the other section. As I'm finishing up the outlining, I like rotating the paper so that the area that I'm working on is closer to me. And as I'm working, I need to remind myself, especially at the end, to keep working slowly and not to rush, because especially at the end, if you start to rush, you'll make a silly mistake. And we've spent so much time already putting this drawing together. The outlining with pencil and going over it with Sharpie has taken a really long time. So just don't rush. After this, you're going to work with colored pencil blending and create a background design.